Hola amigos, hola amigas, welcome, bienvenido, croeso y salam, welcome to the channel y'all, Chesh and the Action Mash, Feliz Navidad, no Nadolig Lawin, Merry Christmas basically. So I thought I would do this video for you guys today. This is the Hoover Sensotronic Total System 50. It's one hell of a chunky vacuum cleaner. It's very heavy, and like the Total system, which is my Turbo Master, this is the kind of the cylinder version ish of that, with a panel with lights on it, cord rewind, power on, and no other buttons on it. The entire thing is to be controlled via this. This is a wired, oh my god, it is so clanky. The cord on it, the hose, is completely and utterly just knackered on it. As you can see, it's sort of like unthreaded in pieces. But the good thing about it is if I switch it on, like so, and then switch it on here, and then put it on, you can have manual mode. And then you can control it via this dial, and the lights come up. Or you can have it on automatic mode, which it doesn't like. Or you can turn it off. If you have it on manual, you have a max button. Let's turn it up. Hang on. I'm going to turn it off because the cabling on it is really dodgy, but there's a manual mode, an auto mode, a max mode. You can turn the power on manually on the side, and there's also an on and off switch. Let's get you guys a little bit closer and let's take a look at this very damaged machine. Okay, so you can see it now a little bit closer. So you have to turn it on. That means the I think that means the flow head's not touching. I don't know. That means that the power's on. Here is the indicator light. I think this has a power head, if I'm not mistaken. It says here, new, gives a real sense of power, the S3456 electro power head for superb carpet cleaning, so it does have an electric head. Giant reusable bag. Tool store inside the cleaner, built-in air freshener, free 5 years parts guarantee. Unique remote control, automatically adjusts the power you need. So it's a really comprehensive machine, but they've just made it very complicated. So here's the remote, or the head. It feels quite nice actually when you vacuum it. Let's switch it on. Okay, so we're on low. Up high, max, that must be for when you have it on automatic. I'm not really sure. So you can have it off here and then you switch it on to auto. It's not very happy. So that's off. Manual. Right. I think it is time to turn this off because, well, it's just not very safe. Has a very, very nice, genuine MK plug on it. The cord rewind needs a bit of lubrication. Yeah, that's like that. So if we take the lid off, okay, so that is the bag lid. Here we have the tools, so it has its genuine tools still inside, a bit manky. So the good thing about this is because this fits on top, there's the genuine air freshener. It has absolutely no smell left on it whatsoever. So you can take the tools off and still use the vacuum at the same time as well. So you can keep the vacuum on. You don't have to. This keeps everything sealed. Dirty. There is a genuine bag on the inside. See, it's not too bad on the inside. It's quite clean. There we go. There's its cover. Inside there we have the motor. So yeah, it's quite a big bag compartment and it is relatively clean. So the main issue I have, because that is just going to be a cleanup. So if we take the hose off here, so you put the hose in and lock it. Oh, I think that's supposed to lock it, isn't it? Yeah, well, that's a little bit worn possibly anyway. So I'm going to put the body of the vacuum down on the floor, because the main thing we're going to look at is this hose, which is just completely knackered. So the cable, the wires for it actually go all the way through inside the hose, all the way around it, round, many times, until it comes to the head. Now there's a screw here and a screw there to take this off, screw there and a screw there to take this out. And what I really want to do is to replace the hose on it. I'm not really wanting to keep the wires on it, because what I want to do is I want to run the wires through a hose. I'm going to have to use sort of like a pneumatic hose. So instead of it running around, I will just have the wire possibly coming through it all the way up to this end. But yeah, at least these are in pretty good condition anyway. They do kind of work. I'm wondering if there's three. Yeah, see, there's three cables. There's the power, and then of course there's a data cable as well. Well, I would really call it a data cable, but it puts the I'm going to have to use a 3-core wire on it so I can get the 3 points out. Anyway, let's have a look and see what we can do. So let's take the handle apart first. I think I'm going to have to get a screw card, bear with me. Okay, let's take the top one off. What is that? It's not a Torx, is it? It's a funny flathead. go. Okay, and there's another one down in there. There we go. Jesus, this thing's complicated. The only thing I really need access to is this. So if I can feed the cables through, just to give me a little bit more room. So there's another screw there. Okay. I'm gonna have to detach this now. Try and separate these off into the 3 wires. That makes it a little bit more easier for me to see what we're dealing with. And I've got a 3-core, it's kind of a thinnish 3-core cable. Let me feed, actually let me just make sure this is nice and neat. And I need to feed this cable through the hose. Right, so I've fed the cable through the hose. And I'm going to try and do that with it, with the new cable, like that, with these wires connected up to these wires, because it's going to be near on impossible for me to try and I'm going to have to start drilling holes and wrecking this, and I really don't want to do that. I want to try and combine it all into one to make it quite easy and stable. So sweat on with this, because I don't want to bugger it up. I just want it to work. What I need to do is to connect up these 3 cables to this. So what I will do is I'll connect the blue to the blue, the brown to the brown, and then just use the black one then, which is like what you might call the data cable, to this yellow one. So here goes. Snip. And so, whew, let's get these cables ready. This is going to have to be very strong, because there's going to be a bit of, even though it's glued in, it's going to be quite, it needs to be tight. That's what she said. And then we got the joys of doing it at the other end. Okay, so we need to put these 3 wires together, fix them together. And see what we can do. I'm just trying to work out the best way of putting all these together and not making a huge, because you still have to keep this as block free as possible. Right, I've got that now fixed on. I need to get it to go cold to harden, and then I can pull the hose up and glue the hose on, pull this back together, and then work on the other end. Okay, so now that is hardened and it is fixed into place, I need to put this all back together, but I will do this in time lapse. Okay, that took a lot of feckling around. I haven't tested it yet. I have no idea whether this is going to work or not. Let's plug it in. Okay, we got it plugged in there. It's off on this. Let's turn it on. Right, let's go. Well, it works. That is a bonus. Well, that's good. It works. It's got suction. I would say that this end is a little bit leaky, but I'm not surprised because I couldn't get the screws in on either side, so there's actually air leaking from it. So if I put it back in and hold on to those things, and now it's stopped. Now it's stopped completely. Why? Try again. Well, it's not perfect. So yeah, I've got a bit of air leak going on with this, but I'm not surprised, to be honest. But I will try, and it's going to just have to be taped up at the end a lot more, and I'm going to have to do something to do with these to try and stop the air from leaking in as much. Not good, but at least it's working. It's got a hose that actually works on it now, so that's one good thing. I mean, somebody might have a completely spare hose for it. This is just like a bodgy fix, so at least it can be used. The one thing I did notice inside here is that the solder joints inside on the boards are very, very dry. It's fairly poorly put together. So yes, so this is going to be the end of part 1, which is actually just getting it to work. What I will do in part 2 is give it a clean up. Give it a clean up on the inside. What I'd like to do is to get this open, just in this motor part. I'm not sure how on earth to do it, but it would be nice to be able to get this panel off. Don't want to go snapping anything. I'll have a look and see if I can find a video online of somebody taking one of these apart, so I can have a look and see inside here. Maybe I won't even do that. I don't know. I'm going to give it a clean up anyway. Let's give it a clean up and let's see how it works. So for the end of part 1, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time where we will try and get this in use.